Hey there everyone, Witch Hazel again. So I had promised a while back a video on how crystals found me. And so I thought I would make good on that promise. And there are really two events that are the main thing for me as far as crystals are concerned that stick out in my memory on how I started using crystals. Because growing up, I was never one of those kids that really liked the minerals and the rocks in shops. I had a few things here and there that I would get growing up, but it never really interested me that much. And even later on, as an adult, crystals were not a big thing for me. I didn't see the draw. And then a few years ago, probably about somewhere in 2012, my grandfather started having medical troubles. Nothing chronic, and mind you, my grandfather was in just past 80 at this point, a couple of years older than 80, and he had always been very healthy. Well, as much as he could be being a chef. He did have a little bit of weight-related troubles, high blood pressure, cholesterol, that sort of thing. But other than that, total workhorse. Perfectly healthy in every way. So he started having health problems, and these were not minor chronic aches and pains. This was heart bypass surgery for his heart. This was a stomach cancer scare. So major things that cropped up over the last 2 years of his life. And then in October of 2014, he went into the hospital again with complications from whatever had been going on before, and I just got it into my head at some point after this, I need to make a crystal grid for him. Where that came from, I don't know. I've never made a crystal grid. I had no clue how to make a crystal grid, but I wanted to set up crystals for my grandfather. So I went out and I got, I think it was blue calcite. I had a small pink quartz or rose quartz heart. I used that, and I got some pieces of Tibetan quartz, and that may have been about it. I have to double check what I put together for him, because it wasn't just crystals. I incorporated a candle, a 7-day candle, and I put that plus the two crystals, the blue and the pink, on top of a letter from my grandfather. That was kind of the connection to him, one of his letters. And then I put the quartz points kind of in the periphery. And I set that up, I lit the candle, and that is another very common thing in my family. Hopefully I'm not repeating myself here. I can't remember if I mentioned it in my last video about candles, but coming from a Catholic background on my father's side, we light candles. That's what we do. Even my father, who gave up Catholicism a long time ago, whenever someone is sick or there's a job opportunity, something important like that, he lights a candle. So I lit the candle, and I kept that candle burning, and I kept the the crystals charged and going with my intent. I visited that little corner that I set up every day until my grandfather passed away. I mean, that was the resolution. There was not going to be a better one in this case. But what I was going for was sending out love and healing to him, that it would not be a bad experience for him, because I knew he was very, very stressed in the hospital. He hated hospitals, and he did not like being sick. So once that resolved, my grandfather passed away, I cleaned up my grid, put everything away, and that was it. My interest in these crystals was totally gone. And that's what I find so strange, because when I went to get the crystals, when I was setting this up, I was so adamant. I had to do this. I had to set up these crystals like right now, today, yesterday even would be better. I had to set this up. And then just poof, gone. Just over. So that was a little bit odd for me. But I didn't think about it. It actually didn't dawn on me until several days later that I hadn't thought at all about these crystals since I put them away. But then, one other thing happened that I thought was very strange, and that was I had an odd dream. And for anyone who knows me, you know, I know it's a big thing in paganism to keep track of your dreams, keep a dream journal, and you want to interpret that. I hate dreaming. I really do, because every time I dream, it is basically a lucid dream. I know that I'm dreaming, and it makes me tired. It really does. I feel as though I did not get a good night's sleep if I dream, if I actively dream. So, at any rate, I had a dream, and I was looking at jewelry pieces, and it was strange because it was like a bracelet, but then also like almost like a rosary bracelet or necklace, something like that. And the stone was, it looked similar to bloodstone. So I'm not really sure what was up with that, but all I remember other than that was waking up with this name of a stone in my head. It was, and I remember thinking Sugarlight. I'm like, and I woke up and I thought, Sugarlight, that's not a thing. Is that a thing? So, of course, I had to go and look it up, and sure enough, it is a thing. Sugilite, actually. Named after the Japanese geologist, I think he was a geologist, meteorologist, something like that, who discovered it. It is a pinkish purple stone, and very linked to emotion, issues of the heart type of a thing. So that kind of creeped me out, because I had never in my life heard of this stone. I don't know if I heard it in the periphery somewhere at some point, but I had never seen this stone, never heard of this stone, had no clue it existed. And to have that name stuck in my head from a random dream was kind of weird. But I said, okay, now I'm convinced I need to look more into these crystals. And so I started little by little. I did manage to get myself a piece of Sugilite, and I'm hoping to make a little, it was tiny, I mean it's expensive stuff, it's a little bitty cabochon that hopefully I'll make a necklace or something out of. And then I started collecting here and there other pieces that stuck out to me when I saw them. A small piece of fluorite, a piece of citrine. What else have I got lately? The smoky quartz. And so I haven't been on a huge mission to go out and get a lot of crystals, but I have been getting them as they kind of talk to me and call to me. So on that note, hopefully I'll be doing a few follow-up videos on how I use crystals, how I am starting to use them, and grids, how I am using grids, because I have really enjoyed learning about and putting together grids ever since my grid I made for my grandfather. So, hope you enjoyed this little introduction to how crystals found me, and I will be putting up additional crystal videos soon. Thanks again. Bye.